Hi, my name is Jennifer, and we've been getting requests for Pilates, so that's what we're gonna do today. I do show multiple levels, so depending on whether you're a beginner or a little bit more advanced, you can pick between which level of the particular exercise that you would like to do. Please listen to your body. It doesn't do you any good to try more difficult levels if you are not able to control your core. I will cue a lot with the pelvic floor, engaging with the transverse abdominal muscle. Those are really kind of the basic foundations of that core system that I want you to be thinking about, and your breath. If there's anything that we're doing that doesn't feel good, please go back and do something that we've already done or take a break during that exercise. And if you're not sure what your pelvic floor is a group of muscles that lives in your pelvis, and it controls bowel and bladder. So when you contract those muscles, they close and lift, and that's really kind of that engagement that I want you to be thinking about with the exercise so that you don't end up blowing out your pelvic floor. I have had a request to do a separate video on the pelvic floor itself, which I will be doing, so make sure you look up for that, and let's get going. I want you to start standing on your mat, feet about hip distance apart. Think about drawing those shoulder blades down and back, creating length through that spine from the tailbone all the way out through the top of your head. Think about that perfect posture. Starting to take some breaths and be mindful of what your core is starting to do. I want you to think about gently engaging that pelvic floor, closing and lifting with that exhale, and drawing that lower abdominal area back to your spine, using that transverse abdominal muscle. As you inhale, think about expanding through that lateral rib cage. And a couple more breaths. And then on your next inhale, I want you to go ahead and take a nice deep breath up, raising the arms up overhead. Take a look up at your hands, lift the heart, and exhale and come down. Inhale up again, look up, and exhale. Start to create a little bit more spine movement as you inhale, lift that heart and arch back a little bit, keeping the core engaged. And as you exhale, start to flex through that neck and upper back and thoracic spine. Inhale and exhale. Go at your own breath pace. Sometimes with the exercises, I will tell you to just move at a pace that feels good for you. You do not have to match my rhythm. As you exhale and come down, next time I want you to take it into a squat, and inhale and lift and reach, and exhale and squat. And inhale and reach, little bigger movement, just getting that blood flow moving. Inhale and exhale. And exhale. One more time. Hold it up. Inhale. And create length. And I want you to just reach one arm up at a time, lengthening through one side of your body. And think about contracting through the other side. Pulling that rib cage down towards that hip. Couple more. And on an exhale, I want you to bring your arms all the way down and put them right on top of those thighs. And I want you to flex the whole spine. Tuck that tailbone, tuck that chin. And reverse that on your inhale. Extend outward. Exhale, flex. And inhale, reverse. And exhale, flex. And if you need a side view, and inhale, and exhale. Really draw that belly in, making this, yes, a spine warm up, but also getting those core muscles engaged. One more time. And as you exhale, roll it all the way up. Head comes up last. Take yourself out into a plie. Take those toes out. And again, create length in that spine and engage through that core. Start with just a single plie. Again, just getting those legs warmed up, getting some good blood flow going for the whole body. I chose a nice bright color today, so I'm sorry if it's blinding you. I just needed a little brightness in my day. And pulse it down. small movement, kind of at the bottom of that range. Hold it down. Take those hands on the inner part of those thighs above the knees. And I want you to press one shoulder forward, rotating and looking up. And press the other shoulder forward. And again, do that one more time to each side. Other side. Take it center, roll it up one more time. And come down to your mat. Roll yourself all the way down. And we're going to start with a basic ab curl. Feet are aligned with those hips. Get that pelvic floor closed and lifted. Transverse abdominal muscle. Pull that right in towards that spine. Reach through those fingertips. Again, creating length. And as you exhale, rolling yourself up. Take a look at your stomach. It should not have gotten bigger. You don't want to bloat it outward or create a bulge, okay? That should really be flattened down and in and be able to sustain that as you come up into your curl. Now, if you can't, and as you rolled up, your belly poofed out, you have to lower yourself down to where you can control it, and that might mean putting your head all the way back onto the ground. So again, keeping in mind, different people, different strengths, different levels that they're going to be able to participate in. So make sure you really listen to your body. All right, so re-engage through that core, come up into your curl. Again, take a look at the belly. Make sure that's down and in. And I want you to start with just a march. So just doing a couple more warm-ups before we really get into it. Making sure that you can stabilize through that core system. And breathe. And if that feels like it's a really good stability for you, I want you to make it a little bit bigger and start to extend one leg out away from you, keeping that pelvis stabilized. Using your breath. One more on each side. Bring it in. And roll it all the way down. Now, the first one we're going to do is the 100. And some of the exercises we're going to do today, I would say are a little bit more from like a traditional mat Pilates class. I will do other videos with some different moves and equipment at a later date. So, coming into the 100, you've got several options for your leg position. Everybody's upper body. The goal is to be in the curl, but again, if you need to leave it down, leave it down. So get that pelvic floor and that transverse abdominal muscle kicked in, roll into your curl, and then everybody's gonna pump those hands very strong towards the floor, inhaling and exhaling for 5. And it is a staccato breath. So you have inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure it's not soft and fluffy with the arms. Okay, that strong pump and that strong exhale is what's going to help engage that core. So level 1, feet on the floor. And if you already know the level that you're at and you want to start your exercise, I always encourage my class, just go. Just start it. You don't have to wait for me to finish instruction. Level 2, I want you to see if you can pick those feet up to your knee level. Level 3, you can start to straighten those legs out, engaging your quads. See if you can kind of lengthen through those hamstrings. And then level 4, you would lower those legs. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here we go. Now, some of you have already started, and you may have more rounds in. Some of your breaths are a little bit slower, and you may not get 10 rounds in, and that's fine. And bring it in, and roll it down. All right, grab hold of one leg, roll it into sitting. And I want you to keep your feet flat on the floor. Squeeze those knees together. Now, if that's too tight through the hips, you can keep the legs about hip distance apart. But if you can get the knees together and kick in those adductors will help kind of domino effect through the pelvic floor, which helps the transverse and the multifidi and so forth. So they all work together. It's all connected. So feet flat, knees together. I want you to sit up nice and tall. Reach those fingertips forward. And again, think about that length. Pelvic floor up, transverse and lower belly back to your spine. And you're gonna roll back, creating this hollowness, this C curve throughout that spine. And again, take a look. Again, it should not have poofed. It shouldn't have gotten bigger. And then I want you to bring it back forward. Okay, so there's level one. Getting everything engaged, rolling back, and inhale, sit back up. Exhale, and inhale. Now, if you want to add a little bit of more challenge with this, as you roll back, I want you to stay there, and then you're going to do an extra curl movement, bringing yourself forward like you're rolling over a ball. I want you to roll back with it and sit all the way up. Roll back, extra curl, roll back and up. One more time. Now see if you can hold it back here. See if you can hold that curve, hollowing in that low belly. Breathe, knees are squeezed together. And sit it all the way up. I want you to pull yourself up nice and tall. Give yourself a little back stretch. And then we're gonna roll all the way back down. So peel yourself back to your mat. And we're gonna do a single leg stretch. We're going to do crisscross and then scissor. Sometimes in that series you'll see a double leg stretch in with that whole series, but we're not gonna do that one today in this class. So single leg stretch, again, I'll show you multiple levels. Take a breath, scoop that core, come into your ab curl position. Level one, you would bring one foot up. I want you to reach down the side of your leg with one hand, and the other hand you can gently place on top of the knee. There's your exhale. You inhale as you switch, and you exhale as you hit that position. Now, do not yank, do not grab your leg, and help hold yourself up with that. If I wasn't hanging on to my leg, my upper body really should look no different as far as lift, okay, movement, and where you are in space here. Now, level two, I want you to bring those feet up, keep them about knee level, and then we can start to extend. So as you reach one leg out, that other leg is coming in. Create length, again, contract that quad, belly flat to that spine. You've got your exhale. You inhale as you switch, exhale, exhale, and go at your own breath speed, something that feels comfortable for you. Again, think length through that neck. Your eyes can gaze down at your belly to make sure it's not poofing out. Four, three, two, one, and roll it all the way down. We're going to go into crisscross. Now the legs are identical. And then the upper body, everybody's doing the same thing, kind of like the 100. Different leg options, upper body, everyone's the same. So bringing your hands behind your head, Getting that core engaged, I want you to come up into an ab curl position. Now, from here, you're gonna stay here as far as the curl. This is not an up and down movement. Once you are up, you stay up and you rotate from there. So I'm gonna look down at my elbow on the floor to help draw myself around into just a little bit more rotation before I bring it back center, still in my curl. Rotate the other side, back center, okay? Now, I can leave my feet down for level 1. Level 2, I'm gonna start to bring a leg up and I'm gonna aim my top elbow to the outside of that knee. I'm still gonna look down. So I'm gonna look down, twist, inhale, center, exhale, and inhale. I can start to bring my legs up to progress this further and take it back to that single leg stretch leg. So as I rotate and inhale, that leg is going to extend outward. How about one more each side? Center, and roll down and take a breath. Now, we're gonna go into scissor. So this is where sometimes hamstring length hinders people a little bit. So again, I will show some modifications. You are back in your ab curl, so you're gonna take your breath, scoop that core, come up into your ab curl. One leg is going to be extended upward and the other leg is extended outward. Fingertips are light behind the kneecap or ankle area, depending again on flexibility. You get 2 exhales. Exhale, exhale, and your inhale is your switch again. Exhale, exhale, inhale. Now, do not again grab and yank. That's not what the arms are for. Okay, now, modification. Again, maybe hamstring length is a little bit tight. You can bend your knee as it comes in. So I can pulse, 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 and I can try to keep that leg as straight as I can, but again, within reason. Don't push yourself into pain. This is not about creating pain through that hamstring and getting yourself into the splits, okay? So get that breath, scoop your core, pick your level for your legs. You can also leave one foot down, I forgot to say that, and you can do a straight leg in from here. So really this would be level 1, and then I can start to extend my legs out, but maybe I need to bend my knee for level 2, and level 3 if I can really lock that knee and fire your quads, okay? At your own breath pace. Here we go. Exhale, exhale, inhale. And again, you can see your belly. Look at it. What's it doing? Last few. Finish it and bring it all the way down. Let's pause from working the flexors in the front of our body and switch gears and work some extensors. So we're going to do some bridging and we're going to do some long endurance. So we're going to really burn up those glutes. So bring your feet, again, about hip distance apart. You can leave those hands down at the sides of your body, but make sure that you actually have some activity there. So press your hands into the floor, press your shoulder blades back, create again that length in your spine from your tailbone to the top of your head, and engage through that pelvic floor and transverse abdominal muscle. Then we're going to press up into a bridge, lifting those hips nice and high up into the air. And again, we've got this nice sandwiching effect of your back with your butt and gut. All right, so again, think about this stability here, this built-in back brace system that we have that we're going to use. You're going to just start with a basic bridge. I want you to lift and lower. Now, level 1, you can lower all the way back down. Level 2, though, I don't want you to put it down. I want you to come maybe 70 to 80% of the way down before lifting right back up into that bridge. And again, go at a pace that feels comfortable for your body. You do not have to match my speed or breath pace. Think about using gravity here to your advantage. When we're up in this bridge position, we are downhill with our pelvic floor. So gravity actually gives you a little bit of assistance with that lift up into the pelvis. So see if you can kind of feel how that contraction gets maybe a little bit easier at the top, but more difficult because you're trying to coordinate so much all at once. Do 2 more for me, and then I want you to hold it right at the top. Hold it up there, and then we're going to take our knees and we're going to add and abduct them. So we're going to come in and out. So you're holding yourself in an isometric position with your bridge, and then I want you to think about an imaginary resistance that you're squeezing in and pushing apart, and squeezing in and pushing apart. Squeeze, push, squeeze, push. Keep breathing. Now pulsing the knees inward. Pulse, 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 pulse. A little bit of that, just quicker firing with those muscles. Keep that core engaged. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I want you to pulse your bridge up, up, up. So you're working again, kind of the last couple degrees of that motion. Getting those muscles to fire a little bit faster versus the slow and controlled that you were doing. Couple more. Hold it up. 1 more set of that inner and outer thigh squeeze and push. Add an abduction. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep breathing. Pick up the pace on the inner thighs. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Inhale, exhale. Four, 3, 2, 1. Last set of bridge pulses. Up, hang in there. You should be feeling your buns. Squeeze, push, push, push. Last 5, 6, 7, 8. Give it 1 last good hold. Then bring yourself all the way back down to the ground and bring those knees in towards that chest. Give those glutes a little bit of a stretch. You can rock it out. Do circles, whatever feels good for your body. And release that. Now, I want you to go ahead and come onto your side. Okay, so pick a side, doesn't matter. We're gonna start here with Python. So we got some of that inner and outer thigh warmed up in that bridge position. And Python can be a little challenging sometimes for people. It doesn't look like it should be, but I feel like it kind of is. So you're gonna start with top leg extended out. On your forearm, so elbows underneath that shoulder so we don't create any impingement. Make sure it's not so far out because as you lift up, it's not gonna feel right. So make sure that's right underneath you, okay? You are still engaging through that pelvic floor and that transverse abdominal muscle. And then your bottom leg is back really parallel with the top thigh. So think kind of thigh to thigh here, all right? And again, I will show some modifications, but full Python. From here, you are going to lift yourself up into a side plank, okay, leaving the bottom knee down. You get to lift the top leg into abduction once, put it back down. Pick up the bottom leg and go thigh to thigh. Put that down, lift the top one more time, and then you can lower yourself back down to the ground. Now the picking up of the bottom leg I find is where people are most challenged. So if you try that and it's not within your practice, don't worry about it. Come up into that, maybe do just the top leg lifts. You can do 3 instead of 2, and then maybe lower yourself down, okay? Until you can develop enough strength eventually to lift that bottom leg. All right, so here we go. Lift. We've got top leg, bottom leg, top leg, and down. And again, lift 2. And down. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. We're going to do one more. We're going to do 8 on either side. And lower down. Flip those legs around. Let's go to the other side. Forearm underneath you. So make sure that elbow's back under the shoulder. Top leg extended, bottom leg bent. Get that core engaged and lift. 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. Five. 6. Two more. There's 7. Last one, 8. And release. Nicely done. Now, I want you to come on around to your hands and knees. And we're going to start here with a leg pull front prep. It is a quadruped position, so tabletop, and we're going to be hovering our knees off of the floor. If that again is too much, you're just going to stay in your tabletop, and that's going to be your position to maintain. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath those hips. Now from here, you're having to fight gravity a little bit. So you want to think about really pulling that low belly to your spine, keeping your back neutral here. As you exhale and you pull that belly up, it is not a curl, okay? So make sure you're not flexing as we go to do this exercise. Think real tabletop flat, belly tight with no back movement, okay? So you can stay here, embrace, and breathe through that lateral rib cage. If you want a little bit more challenge, you're gonna tuck those toes, take a breath, scoop your core, and then lift your knees just a couple inches off the mat and stay. Again, lengthen your spine, long neck. Keep breathing. Why don't you go ahead and lower yourself down. Get off your wrists if you need a little bit of a break. We're going to do that one more time. And then we're going to go into giraffe after this. I'm going to get a quick sip of water. My throat gets dry. I have my festive flamingo cup today because technically I should be on spring break right now in Miami. So that's me feeling a little channeling Miami, Florida today. All right, back into that quadruped position. Hands underneath those shoulders, tuck those toes, lift those knees, hover and hold. And if you're just finding this video wondering why I'm talking about spring break, I started these with the quarantine due to COVID-19. So I did not say that at the very beginning of this video. Almost there. And go ahead and lower yourself down and get off those wrists and give them a little bit of a break. Now, giraffe is a much bigger movement with some modifications that are possible. So I'm going to show you full giraffe and then how to do some modifications, okay? So you're actually going to start off on your stomach. So you're going to come all the way down. And you start off by pushing up into a modified push-up position. So you're going to leave your knees down and do a push-up and kind of push all the way through into a down dog. We'll have 2 leg lifts there, and then we'll return to this position, okay? So get that core set. You're going to come up onto those knees with your push-up. You're going to lift your hips, dropping yourself into that down dog, keeping that core tight. You get 2 leg lifts. Up, tap, return forward. You can put your knees down and lower. Now, modifications. I can come up to my tabletop instead of that push-up, then push into my down dog, and you don't have to worry about your leg flexibility, okay? If your leg comes this high, that's okay. All right, so listen to your body. So you're going with your 2 leg lifts. And then again, if I'm going to modify on the way back down, maybe I come to my tabletop and then I bring myself down a little bit more controlled and supported. You can make this more difficult. You can do a full push-up from here right into your down dog. Push, hit your position. Exhale. Exhale, and then lower down from your push-up all the way down, okay? So any modification that you need to, go for it and go at your own pace. I find once you start doing big movements like this, people start losing their core. They're so busy trying to figure out what the heck they're doing with their movement. So really be mindful, okay? Pull that in. How about one more on each side? And once you've done that, come off your wrists, give yourself a little break. We're going to do some extension while we're here. We're going to do swimming. It's a staccato breath like the 100, except you've got a 4 count. So your inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Level 1, forehead down, legs hip distance apart. And you can start with just alternating a straight leg raise, okay? Full swimming though, you would want to hold both of your legs up and be flutter kicking, okay? Now, you can then add arms for more difficulty. So I'm going to take my arms overhead, about shoulder width apart. I'm going to keep my face off of the floor so that I have to really work my neck and my back more. I'm going to create length as I lift through those arms and legs. Flutter kick, arms and legs. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Finish a breath. And release that down. I'm going to shake that out a little bit. All right, now come to your side again. We're going to work a little bit more in through that glute medius and minimus area. We did a lot of glute max with our bridging, so all Pilates classes should typically include some flexion, extension, rotation, and exercise throughout like the hip and pelvis area, and sometimes some balance thrown in at the end. So we're going to start down all the way, and if you have a towel, you can always use that for extra comfort for your head if you want to. I want you to stack those hips and stack your shoulders. Now, what I want you to really think about trying to do is keeping some air underneath your waistline. So if you're lifting and keeping yourself stacked on those hips and shoulders, most of our waists are smaller in width than our shoulder and our hip. If I'm laying on the floor and I am not engaging my core, and I'm just sort of slumped into the mat here, my back is really in a side bent position. It's not really spinal neutral. So I really want you to think about that nice stacked spine, and that means getting my shoulders stacked, hips stacked, and trying to keep that waistline lifted. That will also help you work so many more muscle groups than you are if you're just laying kind of like a blob into the floor. Now, top leg, we're gonna start with just some basic leg lifts, okay? We're just gonna do some abduction. So belly in flat, get that transverse pulled in, pelvic floor really pulled up. So close and lift through there. And start with some single lifts. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, keep that toe pointed forward, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Keep going. We're going to hit 30, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Try to keep air. 7 under that waist. 29 and 30. Now pulses at the top. Pulse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Hold at 20. Slight point in that foot, and we are going to do circles, no bigger than a dinner plate. Circle 1, 2, 3, 4. Your job is to control movement here at the pelvis. Nothing should be moving. 8, 9, and switch your directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lower that leg down Kind of bring it in, stretch that a little bit, and then we're gonna flip around to the other side. But before we do the other leg, we are gonna do just a plank in between so that we give this top hip just a couple seconds to catch its breath. We do use our bottom leg to help stabilize, so if we flip right away, that bottom hip now was your top hip, and that's already tired. So that second leg usually fatigues out much faster. It just doesn't have as much help anymore. So we're gonna do a forearm plank. You have toes or knees as an option. So elbows underneath those shoulders. And again, nice long line. You can be here from your toes, or you can drop those knees. Now, if you put your knees down, I still want you to make sure that that pelvis is in alignment with your back. Make sure you're not too saggy, and make sure you're not too high either, okay? It's not inverted. So take your position and hold and breathe. And normally I have music playing during my classes, so this is weird for me that it's silent. Feel free to use your own music at home. This just sort of saved me from having to yell over music, since I'm used to having a microphone. Almost there. Go ahead and release it down. Come on to that side then. We've got to switch to the other leg. So getting those hips stacked. Get myself situated here. Get your hips stacked, shoulders stacked. Use those muscles to try to keep some space underneath that bottom waistband, okay? Legs in line with your body. So we're doing hip neutral today with these lifts. There are all sorts of other variations for angles. So top leg, toes pointed forward. Get that core engaged. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, keep that waist up, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19. Hold. Slight point, circles, no bigger than a dinner plate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other direction. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down, and you can bring that forward a little bit and just let that rest. We're going to finish in standing, so bring yourself on up when you're ready. Maybe get a drink of water on your way. All right, come on up. We're going to finish with some plie work. So we're going to get some calves, some more quad, and this also does work on challenging your balance a little bit as well. All right, bringing those toes out. Now check yourself first. As you come down into a plie, make sure that those knees are not over your toes. If you're too far in here and they start really shooting over those toes, it's not going to feel so great on those knees. So make sure you are out a little bit wider. And again, depth of this you go with what feels good for you. If I'm going deeper than what you feel like you can control, or it bothers your knee, or it bothers a hip, don't go that low, okay? Listen to your body. It does talk to us if we listen to it. Okay, so starting up. Again, create that length, pelvic floor up, transverse back. You're gonna start with the plie, come down. Now from there, see, I might need to go a little wider. You're gonna lift your heels. So you come up onto the balls of your feet. Now hold them up and then stand up and then lower your heels down. So we've got a drop, lift your heels, hold them up, stand up, squeeze those quads, and then slowly lower those heels. What I don't want is as you lower those heels, I don't want to plunk, okay? So make sure it's not a harsh drop. It should be very controlled. So think balance, plie, heel lift, press up, slowly lower the heels. Down, heel, come up, lower your heel. So we've got knees, heel, knees, heel. Drop, lift, lift, drop. Down, lift, up, down, drop, lift, up, and down. Let's do 2 more, and then we are gonna reverse this. 1 more. Now, to reverse it, you're doing the opposite. You're actually gonna start with your heel lift first. So you're gonna come up, hold your heels up, plie down, then lower your heels, then squeeze and pull everything in through those legs as you come up. So we've got heel, hold it up, knee bend, lower the heels, then squeeze everything up. Glutes, legs, everything's fired. So lift, lower, lower, and lift. Heels, knees, heels, and knees. Up, down, down, up. Breathe, keeping that core engaged. Lift, lower, lower, lift, couple more, drop, down, and up, lift, lower, drop, and up. 1 more time. And I want you to hold your plie. Come down into your plie. Again, get that core engaged and do little pulses for me. Pulse, 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 pulse. Holding it down, heel lifts up, down, up, down, up, down. You guys are almost there. 4, 3, 2. Can you hold your heels up? 1 more time. Hold, 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 hold. Lower down, squeeze, lift everything up, and shake those legs out. Nice job. All right, now I'm gonna stretch just for a couple minutes, and then please, I always encourage people to stretch more on their own, because what I may feel like I need stretched, you may be real flexible at, and there's maybe something else that you feel like you really need to focus on. So I'm gonna come on down into sitting. I'm gonna straighten one leg out. I want you to bend and cross, pull one leg over, put one hand behind you, using that to help push up into length so that you can try to hook that elbow around. Now, you can modify this by just using your hand to pull that knee towards the opposite chest, and then you're gonna twist and rotate with that. If that feels okay, and you can go a little further, take that elbow and use that to help press yourself around. And go ahead and switch. Straighten that leg out, cross that over. And again, you can start with that knee. I hate talking with my back to the camera. You can use that to help pull with the hand. Again, using that hand behind you to really create that length upward. Try not to be so slumped as you're trying to twist. Think spine up. And release out of that. I want you to roll yourself all the way down, crossing one heel over on the other thigh. And you're gonna grab a hold of that top knee and ankle. And you really use that to help guide my angle of stretch for me. Maybe I need it to my right or to my left. Maybe I need to add some more rotation into that. Maybe I just need to really support my knee. Okay, so bottom leg is going to help pull that in towards your chest. And again, listen to your body. Stretching doesn't feel super great for most people, but the stretch should feel like something you can tolerate to hold, that you're not just like dying to get out of, okay? So take it to that feather edge of, yeah, I feel that, but I can hold it. Go ahead and release out of that. Switching to the other leg. Again, I'm going to use my hands on this top leg to just help control it. The other way you see people is through a reach through, but then I just find you just don't have as much control over that top leg, the one that you're actually stretching. So pull that into your comfort. And again, I'm just taking mine a little bit further because that is within the comfort zone for my body. Just take some nice, slow, deep breaths. Go ahead and release out of that. I want you to bring yourself all the way around onto your stomach, reaching back. Grab a hold of that foot if you can, or ankle, pulling that in towards that butt to stretch that quad that we worked with our standing plies. I'm just gonna hold this one a couple seconds. So if you feel like you need more quad stretch, please stretch more on your own. I'm gonna switch. And I'm gonna release. And then I'm gonna press myself back to that tabletop position. And I want you to flex that spine now. Curl, tuck that tailbone, tuck that head, and then reverse that. Let that sag and extend. Lift that heart outward, tailbone outward. Flex and extend. One more time. Flex and extend. And then I want you to come all the way back down to your stomach, coming up onto your forearms. Let's lengthen that abdominal area and get some back extension. If that's comfortable and you can go a little further, you can start to press into the floor, lifting yourself up again to where you feel that stretch, but it's comfortable for you. And go up and down out of that position just 3 times for me. Release that, press that back to hands and knees one more time. Come around and take a seat. Take a nice big deep breath up. Exhale. And we're done. So again, please feel free to stretch anything else that you feel you need. I always spend probably a good 10 or 15 minutes stretching extra on my own after any class that I teach. We all have different areas of tightness and flexibility, so really please don't ever skip out on the stretching after your workout, okay? Thank you so much for joining me, and stay home, stay healthy, stay safe, and we will see you when everything opens back up. Bye.